Students, welcome back to online chemistry classes. So in this session, I will be focusing on the first PUC syllabus and the most important concepts which are very much useful for the NEET examination. As we are heading towards NEET examination, so that's what. So in the first PUC chapters, I'll be focusing on the much more important. So in that, I'll be first moving on to the organic chemistry part. In that, I'll be discussing about what isomerism part. So you know what is actually meant by isomerism and what are the types which come under what isomerism, and what is some examples that also we have discussed in what regular classes. So in this session, I'll be focusing on the what are some important tricks to solve the problems which are coming on the isomerism basis. Okay, so let us go for the what actually isomerism means that. So you know what do you mean by isomerism? So the compounds which are having same molecular formula but differ in their physical and chemical properties, such type of compounds are called as what? Isomers, and the phenomenon is called as isomerism. That is, two or more compounds which are having same molecular formula, but different physical, or we can say physical and chemical properties. Such type of compounds are called as isomers, and this phenomenon is called as isomerism. So we have two types in case of isomers, and those two types are structural isomers, and another one is stereoisomers. So here, let us not go in briefly in terms of what structural as well as what is stereoisomers. I'll be focusing on the important concepts here. So how to solve the problems in which, how to find out the given compound which is exhibiting chain isomerism, or which is exhibiting position isomerism, or which is exhibiting functional isomerism or a metamerism. Okay, so the first one is what here, how to solve or to find the chain isomerism and position isomerism. If the question is asked find out whether the given compound is exhibiting chain isomerism or position isomerism, so that we will discuss now. So first of all, we have to go forward what actually chain isomerism is called as. Chain isomerism. So chain isomerism means what here? Two compounds which are having same molecular formula. Two or more compounds having what here? Same molecular formula, but differ in the what here? The size of the parent chain or size of the substituent. Okay? Different parent chain, different what here? Parent chain, or different what here? Substituent or what? Side chain. Such type of isomers are called as what here? Chain isomers. Okay, so what is that? The chain isomers which are having what here? Same molecular formula but different what here? Parent chain or what a different side chain. Such type of compounds are called as chain isomers. Okay, so let us go for what is position isomerism. Position isomerism. Position isomerism is that two compounds which are having same molecular formula. Two compounds which are having what a same molecular formula, and they can have what a same parent chain, or they can have what a same side chain, but different or differ in position of what here? Position of functional group what here? So position of what? Functional group, or differ in the position of multiple bonds, and differ in the what here? Position of side chain. Such type of isomers are called as what here? Position isomers. Look here, the position isomers in which two or more compounds which are having same molecular formula, same parent chain, same side chain. They may have what? Same molecular formula, same parent chain, and then what is same side chain, but they are going to differ in what here? They differ in the what? Position. Position of what here? Position of functional group, position of multiple bonds, position of what here? Side chain. Such type of isomers are called as what here? Position isomers. I'll give an example for what chain isomers as well as what here? Position isomers. For example, I'll write CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, and CH3, CH, CH3, and then what is CH3. Look at these two compounds. So you can do the numbering. So this will be the parent chain and this will be the parent chain. So in this compound, the parent chain has how many carbon atoms? 1, 2, 3, 4. And in this compound, the parent chain has what here? 1, 2, 3. And this will be what here? Side chain. So therefore, these two compounds which are having same molecular formula, because both are having 4 carbon atoms, total 4 carbon atoms, but this parent chain has 4 carbon atoms and this parent chain has what here? 3 carbon atoms. That's why these two compounds exhibiting what type of isomerism? Chain isomerism. This chain has 4 carbon atoms, this chain has what here? 3 carbon atoms. Okay, and let us go for another example for what? Position isomerism. So I'll go for CH3, CH, CH3, CH2, CH2, CH3, and CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, CH2, CH3. Okay, so look at these two compounds. You can give the numbering for me. So numbering 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the parent chain. Right, and here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This will be the parent chain. Okay, so this will be what is side chain. This will be the what here? Side chain. Side chain is same. Look at the definition here. Same molecular formula, same parent chain, or same side chain. Side chain is also same. Parent chain is also what here? Same here. And what is the position of this side chain here? The position of the side chain is what? On the second position. And in this compound, the position of the side chain is what here? On the third position. Therefore, these two exhibit what type of isomerism? Position isomerism. And these two exhibit what here? Chain isomerism. Okay. So these two are what here? An example for chain isomerism and then what here? Position isomerism. Okay. So if the question is, if they will be giving what two compounds, among two compounds, and those two compounds are whether they are exhibiting chain isomerism or what here? Position isomerism. That I'll show you. Okay, students, we'll go forward some examples and we have to check whether the given compounds are exhibiting chain isomerism or what is position isomerism. Look at this example that I have already explained. So here, this will be having what here? Same parent chain. This also has what here? Same parent chain, but the position of the what here? Substituents or what side chain is different. The position of this substituent is on the what here? Third position. And position of the substituent is what here? On the second position. Okay, so these two will be exhibiting what type of isomerism? Position isomerism. Okay, and out of these two, If I consider this as a parent chain, okay, so this is what is cyclopropane, which has what here? One methyl group, one methyl group, okay. So this also has what parent chain cyclopropane. It has also what here? Two methyl groups, one methyl group and what one methyl group. And now these two will be exhibiting what type of isomerism here? Position isomerism, because side chain is same. Side chain is also what? One methyl group and then what? Another methyl group. Here also one methyl group and another methyl group. But the position of the methyl groups on the first position as well as second position in this compound. But the position of the water, both methyl group on the same position. Therefore, these two will exhibit what type of isomerism? Position isomerism. Same parent chain, same substituents, but the position of the substituents is different in both the compounds. Okay. So coming to this example. So here, parent chain is what? Cyclohexane. Cyclohexane, it has ethyl group here because it has two carbon atoms. Okay. And here the substituent is what? It is having two methyl groups. Therefore, the side chain is same or different here. Yes or no? The side chain is what here? Different. Therefore, it will be exhibiting what here? Chain isomerism. Okay. So, substituent has what? Side chain has what here? Two carbon atoms, and the side chain has what here? One carbon atom. Okay. So, therefore, we have to remember the conditions for chain isomerism and then what is position isomerism. So this is the what is simple trick. So that is for chain isomerism. For chain isomerism, what should be same? Parent chain should be same. Parent chain and then what here? Side chain, not chain, they should be what is different. Then only that will be giving rise to what is chain isomerism. If the parent chain has 3 carbon atoms and if another parent chain has 4 carbon atoms, so that will be exhibiting what here? Chain isomerism. So what is the condition for chain isomerism? Either parent chain or side chain should be different. Look at this example. Side chain it is, parent chain is same. Parent chain is cyclohexane, it is also what? Cyclohexane. But the side chain, so in this compound the side chain has 2 carbon atoms and in this the side chain has one carbon atom. That's why. So this will be exhibiting what? Chain isomerism. So the condition is what? Parent chain and then what here? Side chain should be different. And go for position isomerism. Position isomerism. So the condition will be parent chain and side chain should be same. What is the condition for the position isomerism? Parent chain and then what is side chain should be same and position of what is functional group, multiple bonds and then what is side chain should be different. Should be different and that will give rise to what is position isomerism. Look at the conditions here. Right? If the compound is exhibiting chain isomerism, what is the condition? Parent chain as well as what is side chain should be different. And in case of position isomerism, parent chain and side chain should be same. And there what is difference in what is the position of functional group, position of multiple bonds, position of side chain should be different. And these two conditions will help for what is to find out whether the given compound is exhibiting position isomerism or what is chain isomerism. Okay. Hey students, so the next and much more important concept is that what is how to find out almost all the possible isomers of alkanes. The question is that they will be giving out an alkane and they will ask you to find out, write the total number of possible isomers for the given compound. But you should not go for what writing all the possible structures. So that will what create a complexity and that will consume what a lot of time. So when it is consuming a lot of time, so we have to follow what a short ways to find out the total number of possible isomers for the given alkanes. Okay, so that I'll tell you what is the hint to follow and how to find out the total number of possible isomers. Okay, so if methane is given, so methane is what is attached with how many hydrogen atoms? Carbon is attached with what are 4 hydrogen atoms. So therefore, no isomers are possible for what is this corresponding methane. Okay, so there is only one isomer is possible for what corresponding methane because it has only one carbon atom. So you can write what its bond line structure. You should show it as what a dot here. If you write a bond here, it represents as ethane, right? So you have to write it as what here a dot. So which will not give any different kind of isomers. If I go for ethane, ethane has what 2 carbon atoms. In case of bond line structure, you will write in this way. So what is the name of this compound? This is ethane because this end represents what here methyl group CH3 group. This end also represents what here methyl group CH3 group. Okay. So therefore the name of this compound is what ethane, and you can find out what are total possible isomers for this compound. How many possible isomers are for this compound? Only one, which means that no isomers are possible for ethane. It is only one. Coming to propane. Propane has how many carbon atoms? 3. So therefore its bond line structure will be in this way. Okay. So this is called as what here? Propane. So this propane, and if you are going to write the what possible isomers for this propane, no possible isomers are what here available for this corresponding propane because you cannot arrange all the 3 carbon atoms in a different way. That's why methane, ethane and propane will have no isomers. Therefore, the possible isomers for methane will be 1. That is 1. We can write in this way. It is the only way to write the word methane. Ethane, not possible for what ethane also, and for propane also what here 1 isomer is possible. Coming to what is butane. If I go for butane, butane has what is 4 carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So 1 carbon atom, 2, 3, and then what 4. So this is what here a bond line structure of butane. So we'll write what here total possible isomers for this butane. So when it has what here 4 carbon atoms, you can rearrange these all the 4 carbon atoms in different way. That is, so I'll keep these 3 carbon atoms as it is. Okay. So this carbon atom, I'll move the position of this corresponding what 4th carbon atom at the 2nd position. It is what 1, 2, 3, 4. This 4th carbon atom, I will write it as side chain on the 2nd carbon atom. Okay. So this is the word, only what here the possible isomer for corresponding butane. Therefore, butane is exhibiting how many isomers total? 2. Okay. So I'll tell you the trick here. So therefore, butane is what here? Having 4 carbon atoms, and it is exhibiting what here? 2 possible isomers. Therefore, butane exhibits 2 possible isomers, and the same trick we have to follow. The trick is that we have to follow the formula 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1. 2 raised to what here? N minus 4 plus 1 will gives rise to the total number of possible isomers for a given alkane. Okay, go for methane. Right? Methane means what? Where n is what here? Number of carbon atoms. Where n is what here? Number of carbon atoms. And calculate for what methane. What is the formula? 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1. For methane, how many carbon atoms are there? 1 carbon atom. Put the value of n. 2 raised to 1 minus 4 plus 1, which is equal to 2 raised to minus 3 plus 1. Neglect this negative part. You will get what? 1. Okay, so neglecting this negative part and will remain with what? 1. Therefore, the possible isomers for methane will be how many? 1. Go for ethane. For ethane, how many carbon atoms are in total? 2 carbon atoms. Write the 2 carbon atoms over here. 2 raised to 2 minus 4 plus 1. You will get 2 raised to minus 2 plus 1. Neglect this negative part, which is equal to what? 1. Therefore, you will get what here? The total number of possible isomers for ethane will be 1. Go for butane. Butane we have got what here? by writing what is structure. And if you want to write the structure for again a remaining alkanes, it will be very much complex. So that's why we have to follow this formula. For butane, the formula will be 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1. For butane, total number of carbon atoms for what here? Corresponding butane will be 4. Therefore, 2 raised to 4 minus 4 plus 1, which is equal to what? 2 raised to 0 plus 1. Anything raised to 0 is what here? 1 plus 1, which is equal to what here? 2. So therefore, the total possible isomers for butane will be how many? 2. Okay. So go for pentane. Pentane has how many carbon atoms total? 5. 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1, which is equal to 2 raised to 5 minus 1 plus 1, which is equal to 5 minus 1 means what? 4. 5 minus 4. 5 minus 4 it should be 5 minus 4 plus 1 means what here? 1. 2 raised to 1 plus 1, which is equal to what? 2 plus 1 equal to what here? 3. Therefore, pentane exhibits how many possible isomers? 3. We'll go for hexane and heptane. Hexane has how many carbon atoms total? 6. 6 minus 4 plus 1, which is equal to 2 raised to 2 plus 1. 2 raised to 2 means what? 4 plus 1, which is equal to 5. Therefore, the total possible isomers for hexane will be how many? 5. Go for heptane. Heptane has how many carbon atoms? 7. 7 minus 4 plus 1. 7 minus 4 means what? 2 to the power 3 plus 1, which is equal to total 9. Therefore, the heptane exhibits what here? 9. Okay. So this is how we can calculate what a total number of possible isomers for the given alkanes. So this formula will works only up to heptane. So this formula will works up to what here? Heptane. And from octane, nonane and what decane we will have what a different one. So that is, for octane we have to make use of the formula 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 2. And for nonane we have to make use of the formula 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 3. And for decane 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1 plus n. This is the trick to find out the total number of possible isomers for octane, nonane and then what? Decane. So 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1 is for what? Up to heptane. And for octane, 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 2, you will get what? Total number of isomers possible for what? Octane. 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 3 will be for nonane. 2 raised to n minus 4 plus 1 plus n will be for what? Decane. Where n is what here? Number of carbon atoms present in the given alkane. Okay. So this is a trick. You can follow the water, you can write or you can calculate the total number of possible isomers for the given alkanes.